So I guess my last question would be, a few years from now, what do you see or what do you think are going to be some of the biggest changes we're going to see in regards to data management within an organization?
Biggest changes, my hope, okay, so I have a dream. I have a dream that one day um data management will be just as prominent as risk management. Okay. Everyone in financial services understands risk management. You understand your organization's risk appetite. You understand what your role is in the risk management process. You attest to the fact that you understand these things, and there's specific steps that you do to assess, right, your risks and your controls, and to self-identify where you're doing well and you're not doing well, and you have an action plan to fix your challenges. That's all we need for data, right? That's all. That's it. So I
Simple.
have a dream. I have a dream that one day, right, we'll have that discipline in place as it relates to data. I also have a dream that one day data is going to become just as second nature as waking up and brushing your teeth, right? Managing data and managing data quality should just become a natural part of what we do. It's like blinking, it's like breathing, it's like, personal hygiene, right? No one has to tell you to do it,
Right.
right? You just do it. And when you don't do it well, someone, maybe a close friend, hopefully, or family member is going to say, you know what? Maybe you didn't brush your teeth today. You know, can you maybe address that? You know, so we need to get to that point where it's just ingrained in everything that we do, right? Data governance, data management, data quality just needs to become a natural part of our existence within the organization.
No, that's great. Well, maybe I fibbed a little bit. I do have one last question.
Oh boy.
This is an easy one though. Um, we've all experienced really, dramatic changes and challenges with COVID-19, and I just wanted to see how the pandemic has impacted Raymond James. And were you able to use data for any of the challenges, or just in general, how did the pandemic impact your company?
Yeah, these are definitely unprecedented times. I don't think there's anyone on the globe that hasn't been impacted by this pandemic. It certainly changed the way that we work. We're all accustomed, or most of us are accustomed to driving to the office, right, to work X number of hours a day. Most of our teams are now working remotely. Um, but the good news is that, we were prepared. We had those remote work options in place. The technology existed. It was just a matter of activating it for those who hadn't used those options before. So that's different.
Mhm.
But the good news is that, we're still interacting well with each other. We're still, providing support to each other. And we're still absolutely servicing our clients. So that commitment, right, to our clients and to each other hasn't changed during this pandemic, which is awesome. And I think it's also awesome that it's really shown the strength of our culture. It's really
Mhm.
brought to the forefront, right? That when we say, we're in the business of people, like it's really come through. Folks have a level of flexibility to manage, personal situations. If you have children at home that you have to worry about doing the homeschooling as well as work, it's like we work around it. We're accustomed now to hearing barking dogs and children running around in the background of a Zoom. It's okay. And we've encouraged them to come into the screen because we want to see, the cute furry creatures and the little people and all that stuff, right? So that's definitely different. And I think, like, in terms of using data, so we use data, as you would in any normal operations, to like track call volumes, to track system monitoring, right? Network capacity, et cetera. So that's all data. So that helped us to understand, where do we need to reallocate resources to deal with higher volumes in a certain area, where do we need to check our capacity to handle, right, higher trade volumes. And of course, we're monitoring, data from outside of the organization. So market volatility, there were some high trading days out there,
Mhm.
so we were kind of looking at that volatility as an indicator of, okay, what's to come, so of course, data is at the center of all of that, right, during the apex, I'll say, of the market volatility during the pandemic. And then now, as we're thinking about returning to office or even monitoring folks who are not in the office, we're using data to collect and track that information to understand, who's working remotely, who's planning to return to the office, and for those who are returning to the office, collecting data as it relates to their health attestation, or other information, right, that's relevant for folks who want to go back on site. So again, data is at the
Mhm.
core of most things that we do, right? Whether it's related to our core business and processes, or related to managing our employees, or just navigating our personal lives, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No. Well, Vita, this has been truly a pleasure for me personally. And I think some of your information and answers were super helpful. And I just want to thank you again for joining us today, and for taking the time. And for all those watching, please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews like Vita's.